Good evening, everybody. My voice is about 6 octaves lower than usual. I feel like I'm doing my impersonation of B. Arthur, impersonating Phil Donahue, impersonating Bill Nye the Science Guy. It will be that weird an evening. Welcome. Welcome to the lab. Even the little things you've seen happening as we've getting warmed up are perfect for what we're going to be up to and into this evening. For those who are on the other end of the web cameras, I have no idea what it's going to look like for you. You can send me an email and let me know. Here in the hall, we're going to leave the house lights up because we need to see you as much as you need to see us. I'm hoping also that on your way in, you picked up some pencil. Did you get a pencil? Did you get, awesome, you will need those pencils, okay? If you didn't, anybody not get a pencil? Anybody that wants a, okay, we have a few pencils. Hey, triangle people, could you head out? You're gonna have time, I'm gonna talk. Head out, grab some pencils, we'll get them to you if you need that. And for triangle people, you can relax, you can sit down a little bit. I'm gonna chat with our audience just a bit. When I say welcome to the laboratory, I mean it. It's actually an annex of the lab since we normally work next door. We're very rarely in this space. What makes tonight so special is not only the space, but is your presence. And I hope you'll allow me to kind of stick to my notes, close to my notes, because if I wander into the weeds, we're never coming back. So much of what we're doing tonight is new. Tonight, it's not a performance in a traditional sense at all, and nothing that's going to happen tonight is intended for dramatic effect. This isn't staging. This is a way that we're able to test some things and see what's happening. It's a way actually of allowing a huge variety of sight lines and communication lines. Some of them work, some of them don't. That's what the flowers are for. I'm not going to tell you about that. You'll have to find me at the reception following the concert to learn the secret of the flowers. Ensemble, 2 for 1 night. Absolutely. Josh has already earned about 12. Okay? Now, we're not here to avoid errors tonight at all. In fact, we're here to run at them with open arms and open hearts, to celebrate them as a source of inspiration and traction for learning and development. Now, some of our work has to do with learning about how we learn. Destin Sandlin, he's the guy trying to ride the bike down there in the bottom. He's an engineer, and he's host of the podcast called Smarter Every Day. It's a great podcast. And he offers us a perfect analogy for our efforts so far this semester. If you look closely, some friends of his built a bicycle with the steering reversed. Yeah, if that makes your brain hurt, it makes my brain hurt too. Now, he thought, he's been riding bikes since he was a little kid. That should be no problem. Well, you can see it is very definitely a problem. It took him 8 months of daily practice to be able to do it. And once he was able to do it, he couldn't ride a normal bike. Now, we're just a few weeks into our musical experiments here, our musical equivalent of those experiments, and it's a wonder we haven't broken any bones yet. Now, I can hear what you're thinking. Why would anybody do that? Bikes are perfectly fine the way they are, right? Okay. The answer is grit. All right, if you've been hanging around the University of Nebraska, you may recognize that word. Let me explain. About 100 yards that way, okay, north of us on campus, is the Department of Physics, which is home to the Extreme Light Laboratory, which houses the world-famous Diocles laser. This laser, that's why I have my safety goggles, this laser is 10 million times brighter than the sun. It's in a basement just over there. Okay? With it, our physicists have pioneered a new research field called high field science. I have to read this because I don't know what it means. It involves the nonlinear optics of ultra-high intensity lasers interacting with plasmas. Who knew? You can go visit and see what's going on. Now, Keep that in mind. Our university is celebrating its 150th anniversary, and the Glencorf School of Music is celebrating our 125th. For that length of time, unlike our counterparts over in physics, our musical ensembles have gone about their business in essentially the same way. We have more ensembles now, and we have more literature to play, but the way the ensembles operate and our expectations of them would be perfectly recognizable to Willard Kimball. His portrait hangs in that very weirdly dark alcove over there. Strange, since the building is named for him. Okay? But yeah, if Dr. Kimball were to walk in, well, not tonight, but on other nights, he would recognize what's happening. Now, I think it's fair to say that if DeWitt Brace, who was Kimball's colleague in the physics department, were to walk into the extreme light laboratory, he would be delighted, but totally unequipped to enter into any of the experiments that were happening there. It's a completely different world. To put it another way, our physicist pals have totally re-engineered their bicycle. Okay? Absolutely. We've come to expect that degree of innovation and to celebrate it in the sciences. But in the realm of classical music and music in academic settings, we take pride in keeping at least one foot firmly planted in the 19th century. When Willard Kimball was the age of the students here on stage, catch this, Johannes Brahms had yet to complete his first symphony. That's what we're talking about here. And yet, if either of those gentlemen were miraculously resurrected and were to walk into any high school or college or professional large ensemble rehearsal in the United States, they would fit right in. If you look up here, that footage, she's looking at her cell phone, that footage may be in color, but they're still riding penny farthings. All right? Now, this is grit. When we're talking about grit, doesn't mean doing the same thing over and over for the sake of tradition. Grit suggests traction. It suggests something that will help with progress, with forward motion. Okay? This is Nebraska, so bear with me. You're getting a football metaphor coming at you here. Okay? And before anybody gets tweets or letters, I know there are more than 4 guys on the team. Okay? That's all that I could fit on the picture. Okay? Again, this is Nebraska. I know you were thinking that, right? All right. Now, in this metaphor, large ensembles nationwide, okay, are like a football team that has become really good, really expert at running one very specific play. Okay? We start on the 40-yard line. Okay? We run the play, gain 10 yards. Yay! And then go back to the 40-yard line, run the play again. Gain 10 yards. Why? Because we're really good at this play. Yay! We go back to the 40-yard line. Are you frustrated yet? Over and over and over again. Now, I can hear my colleagues on the other side of these web cameras right here, fellow wind ensemble directors, saying, but Carolyn, we in the wind band community, we commission new music. We're really committed to innovation in the arts. Well, that's true enough. But it's like running the play, 10 yards, go back to the 40, pick up a new ball that we commissioned, that someone sewed for us, run the play, yay, go back to the 40, pick up a new ball, we got a lot of balls. Okay, that's going to be a meme. I apologize. I did not intend that. I'm sorry. I did not intend it. But you get the idea, okay? There's innovation and there's innovation. In fact, we've been doing this for so long that we're no longer aware that there might be more to the field. The grass in the end zone hasn't been mowed since 1952. Okay? Running the play has become the purpose of our getting together. Okay? And you've seen the play with little guys too. Okay? The play is how we perform music and how we teach others to perform music in ensembles. We start this in the 4th or 5th grade. Those of you band moms and dads out there, you know the play. You have seen the play over and over and over again. It's rooted in the belief that the repertoire, the music that we play, is the curriculum. Audiences learn the play too. You have your own role in it, and it's a very passive one. Okay? There are ensembles in some places that compete to see who can run the play with the fewest errors. They get cool little trophies when they do that. But what if the game isn't about the ball? What if it's about the way the players interact with the ball, the way the players interact with each other? What if repertoire isn't the curriculum? If you doubt how devoted we are to repertoire being the curriculum, just Google that phrase. You'll be amazed at the number of articles that pop up. But what if it isn't? And that thought, that question, is where the Performance Lab was born. Okay? Many other questions followed. One of the first things we learned is that grit, traction, comes in the form of questions rather than answers. Took a long time for me to trust that. Here are just a few of our questions that have popped up, and we have many, many more. And if you're intrigued by these, or folks out in Cyberland, if you have your own questions, we would love to know what yours are. The more grit we can gather, the more traction we will have. Those last two, are we actually doing what we think we're doing? And if not the play, then what? Those sparked our first hypothesis. And it was this. Okay? This is where we started the semester, in fact. You guys, in the back you can't see, but it's the geese and the starlings that are happening out there, right? And the question I asked of this crowd was, if you had to choose between these two possible metaphors for an ensemble playing together, which would you pick and why? The geese up there are convergent and consistent and predictable. The starlings, down here on the bottom, are divergent and fluid and unpredictable. The geese are practical. The starlings are playful. The geese are efficient. The starlings are beautiful. In an artistic and creative setting, there is no contest. So the question became, how? If you could do that, wouldn't you want to? We think we can. We think there is a way. Now, that big part of that how involves you. You are not just bird watchers. You're not here to watch the starlings fly by. You're here to join in, to be a part of the flock, imaginatively, okay, to work along with us. It's going to be really, really important. Tonight's first experiment, okay, it's going to be Stephen Montague's Intrada. Okay? It focuses on our perception of space and its relation to time. We're trying to develop the ability to navigate with our ears rather than our eyes, okay? And to communicate ideas across space in 3 dimensions, which is to say, non-linearly. To open up to those 3 dimensions, there are some tools that we need, and there's 4 of them up there. One is intention, another's inflection, roll, and ballistics. If you have spoken to anyone today or ever, you have used those 4 tools. If you have walked into McDonald's and said, "Hello, I would like a Happy Meal, please," okay, you have demonstrated intention. You have demonstrated the role of being a conductor, yeah, Freudian slip, there we go, of a consumer coming in there. Your inflection, one hopes, would have been pleasant. Okay? And the ballistic means that you looked for clues and cues in the eyes of the person wearing the paper hat that indicated from them that they heard and understood you, that it landed. Your request for a Happy Meal landed. So your role right now, in a moment, we're about to play, Okay? Your role is to choose one of these things, okay, and to listen and look for evidence of it in the work that they're doing. Now, if you look around the hall, there are folks up here, but there are also folks out there. Okay? We're opening up the 3 dimensions around you to be able to help out. So you're looking for evidence. My role will be to watch you and to look for evidence of the same things among you, because theoretically, their efforts might be accessible through your reactions or lack thereof. Their success depends on you. If somebody were to throw a ball right past your head, you'd duck, right? Hope so. Okay? Keep your eye on the ball. Players, go ahead and noodle a little bit. We'll take a B flat from Kevin, okay? And once we're settled, Alex, it's up to you. Now, as our triangulists return home, one thing that I noticed watching them do this was that Dom was messing around with us at the end. That was hysterical. You lasted longer than usual coming and going, which was wonderful. But out here, watching you, there is what fabulous smile here. Stripy shirt there in the back. When it was twinkly time, you were all about the twinkles. It was awesome. You're part of the flock. We had a pink lady here. We're kind of leaning in at particular moments. We've got another lean-in guy that was happening up there at the top. That's what you were showing, flocking behavior. It's an indication to them, they can see you, that their message is landing. Their message is landing. For those who are quite stoic, I understand. You are running the play. And the play says, do not indicate that you have heard anything until it's time to clap. And then you did, which is awesome. So throughout the evening, we're going to be kind of poking at you just a little bit to see if we can provoke reactions. Now, you're going to need your pencils. Everybody got your pencils? Got your piece of paper? To get ready for our next experiment, you need to do something here. We're going to play a game, okay? Now, does anybody still need a pencil? We okay? We're good with the pencils? You can share your pencils. That will be good, okay? Your mission is to somehow use this shape, okay, in a drawing. Make a drawing using this shape, okay? I'll give you a minute to do it. If you're at home, for our webcam audience out there, and you can't see the squiggle, it's just a squiggle. Draw a squiggle on a piece of paper, and then use that for a drawing. All right. You've done this before. You guys are welcome to draw along, too, if you'd like, if you still have your little notebook. Oh, yes, Grayson is doing it. Grayson gets a flower for that. Why? Because I've seen him draw. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. All right, about 30 seconds. Drawing. Thinking about it. Some of you very smugly looking up. Done. Uh-huh. I remember you when I was in 5th grade. I was very jealous. All right. Okay, about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Nice. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Show your drawing to the people around you. Do not be shy. This is a laboratory, not an art gallery. All right? Show your picture. Nice. Nice bug. I like that. Okay. All right. If you listen to the hall right now, what you're hearing is murmuration. When you call starlings in flight, making that shape, they call it a murmuration of starlings because of the sound that they make. And it sounds a little bit like laughter that you have just done. So bravo with your flocking. Now, let's discuss strategy for a moment here, okay? And be honest, because people have seen your picture, okay? Is the original shape, okay, prominent in your drawing in some way, or was it absorbed into a more elaborate picture? Okay? Might be neither of those, but how many snails? Yeah, snails. Everybody loves the snails. You got it. Okay. Other strategies, okay? Did you use the shape more than once? That's interesting. Did you flip it or reorient it in some way? Did you deconstruct it, maybe, and use its constituent parts? Did this occur to you just now? Yeah. Didn't know we were allowed to do that. If this occurred to you, you're a perfectly normal person in that we assume often that there are roles in play. Your task now in our next experiment is simply to notice other instances when you're expecting or assuming that there are rules to follow. For example, until a few minutes ago, you probably assumed the rule of concert etiquette was to sit quietly, receive sound appreciatively as it emanated from the performers. Okay? In other words, to be the human equivalent of the seat you're sitting in, right? I mean that totally respectfully, okay? That's kind of what you expect when you come in. Now, the trick is to figure out, when you're thinking about rules, some rules are necessary. They're important. We've got to be able to do that. Some rules are completely arbitrary, right? I certainly hope that's arbitrary, okay? Now, watching this band, I love you, decide where to sit on the first day of rehearsal was so illuminating to me. It was amazing. They came into the room. The chairs and stands were kind of scattered around randomly in that case, and all that I told them was, you can sit anywhere. Without talking to each other, without thinking about it, they formed a perfect traditional arc setup. Even though this ensemble, in 18 years, has never sat in a perfect traditional arc setup. They ran the play, with the exception of Kevin, okay, who knows an opportunity when he sees it, okay? Kevin, you just dropped into the front row, okay? Absolutely. He and I have worked together before. All right. Now, tonight's second experiment, it's going to be Donald Grantham's Circa 1600, okay? Focuses on our assumptions about rules. We're trying to figure out and prioritize the rules, real or otherwise, associated with balance and blend and intonation, the variables that are like weather patterns that run through music. We assume most are absolute. If this, then this. Tune to the bass. Balance in a pyramid. Be sure the melody is audible. Don't let Kevin sit in the front row. Those are all absolutes. Okay? We're learning that many of these rules are actually more flexible than we might think. If this, maybe this, or this, or this. Our goal tonight is simply to avoid locking in to the play, locking into rule-oriented, rule-governed, which is to say mindless, activity and behavior. Success for us will be hearing the possibilities. Ooh, could maybe be this, could maybe be that. Glory would be acting upon those, but baby steps. No matter what, this is an opportunity to earn some flowers. You got it? You ready for Grantham? Noodle a little bit, give me a time to get into the danger zone, and I'll be right back with you. You may have noticed that I've been avoiding. There's a cone here for a reason. This is a very problematic spot. They've told me so. Repeatedly. My goal right now is to stay out of their way. Be there if they need me. Otherwise, let them do their thing. All right. Catching on to these yet? Oh, there we go. Thank you. I gotta tell you, it is so hard to be on the box and not do anything. I just want to play, but they don't need me. It's even hard when I can hear them start to wobble a little bit. And those are, for us today, here in the lab, the most important moments. When you hear them, one, either shouting at each other, it's this, that's an important moment, they're solving an argument, or when it gets thinner and weirder as they're going, no, after you, no, after you, no, after you, and everybody's backing away like, ooh. Okay? That's an important moment for them as well. They're sorting out and they're making those connections as they happen. So well done. Thank you, ensemble, for that. All right. Now, got your pencils? Gonna need them again. Your first job here. Okay? You're gonna have 30 seconds to draw a portrait of the person sitting next to you. Ready, go. Ensemble, you can do this as well. You can draw a picture of them if you want. It could be a group portrait. The Last Supper. You know, that's 30 seconds, portrait, person next to you. If you're just tuning in out in Webland and you're wondering what is going on right at the moment, they're drawing pictures of each other. This is a lab, so I'm wearing scrubs. They have many pockets. Pockets are awesome. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now, show your picture to the person you're drawing. Again, it's a lab, not an art gallery. Yeah, not bad. Murmuration, do you hear it? You hear it? Nice. All right, very good. There is a next step. Here is the next step. Okay? Take your paper, your portrait, okay, and trade it with somebody and add to it. Trade your paper with somebody else, okay, and develop the drawing you've just been given. You have 30 seconds. Okay? Yeah. I'm terrified to know what's happening. I think we need to move the traffic cone. I think the traffic cone is coming over here. Now, there we go. All right, 20 seconds. Doesn't have to be a masterpiece. We're not going for photorealism here. Okay. By the way, shout out for the Sheldon Art Gallery, just 50 yards in that direction. Physics is over here. Sheldon is over here. Go visit. It's free. All right, time's up. Okay. Trade one more time with somebody new. Third person, get him in the loop. Okay. Add to that picture. You got it? Passing around up there? Okay. We're looking. All right. How we doing up here? Not bad. 30 seconds. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Everybody gets serious now. 5, 4. As if these last 4 seconds will make the difference. All the little Da Vinci's are coming out. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Share your picture now with everybody that's contributed so they can see how it turned out. I'm a little bit terrified to know. Band, if you have parents out there, get their pictures. I want to see them. Yeah. Nice. Pretty good. All right, now, this exercise is an exercise in divergence. That is to say, you start from one point, and then you can go in any particular direction that's out there. Divergence is at the core of creative activity. And by the way, playfulness and laughter also. So the giggling that's happening here, keep it up. Hey, I'm back. There we go. Thank you, crew. You are awesome. Okay? Yeah. This microphone disaster brought to you by the creative process. Creative problem solving saves the day. Did anybody place their person into a larger kind of narrative flow in which something dramatic happened to them? Maybe a giant grizzly bear came running at them after their horse fell in love with a yes! All right. These are at least 3 different strategies. Now, the play tends to focus on the more cosmetic adjustments. The play, in musical terms, means eliminating audible errors. When we bring new balls, newly composed works, into the play, essentially we're basically moving from one set of hash marks to the other set of hash marks, but we're still on the same field, still the 10 yards. It's okay, here's a palm tree, nice, okay. But when we leave those well-trodden 10 yards of field, go into the weeds in the end zone there, a world of drama opens up for us. Now, tonight's third experiment is going to focus on dramatic potential and musical metaphor, okay? We're experimenting with narrative, not in a direct programmatic sense. Not saying there's a story here, okay? Don't have to, there could be if you want there to be, but there doesn't have to be. But in the sense of action and reaction and interaction, Okay? The information up here in the blue box is one way among many of discovering useful metaphors to use. It's a teaching tool. So now as you listen, see if you can spot the various qualities of interaction or elements of plot and narrative, even as you create in your own imagination. This is how you flock along with us. You create your own thought about what's happening. You add your own grizzly bear or love-struck horse, whatever it might be, into that narrative. Find out if we're able to get beyond merely decorating the music, a little bit louder, a little bit shorter, a little bit of that, and are you able to follow the plot? Here comes Kathryn Salfelder's Crossing Parallels. I get to conduct a little bit more on this because it gives me an opportunity to maybe send in a grizzly bear if they need one. Okay? This is less about me helping, if there might be a moment, more about me potentially disrupting. Let's see what happens.
fan even.
Yeah, I feel a little bit like that scene in The Wizard of Oz when Toto runs over and pulls the curtain. Because I'm about to reveal to you, you may or may not have noticed, there were a couple of thin spots in there when I started doing less. That was intentional in this case to essentially say, well, you got yourselves into it, let's see if you can get out of it. Okay? That goes contrary to the conductor's instinct to whatever, to be able to jump in. But I now trust them completely. They do better solving the problems when I get out of the way. There were a couple times when we had people who were stuck to me. You were glued on in there and trying to shake you off a little bit to get you conducted on either side. So you get flowers for that. We're going to take about a 10-minute break here just to kind of shake things out. Get to know your neighbors. Again, show your papers around there. Restrooms are down in the lower lobby. That's where the reception will be. We'll see you in about 10 minutes, everybody. Thank you. Safety goggles back on. All right, and we resume. Again, if you're just tuning in out in webcast land, welcome to the laboratory. We are in mid-experiments here, and flowers abound. It's a veritable luau out there, which is awesome. Let's tell you what, if you can guess what the flowers are for, we'll give you a flower. That's there you go. Bribe the audience when in doubt. All right, now, here we go. Heading for experiment number 4. At the beginning of the semester, which it seems like a year ago, oh my goodness, it was only 6 weeks ago, but we did a question generation exercise early in the semester to provide some grit for our work, some traction, and it was a great opportunity for me to assess the priorities and expectations of the group. And when I sifted through their questions, these 4 words kept appearing again and again. And if you can't see the screen, it's lead, follow, match, and listen to. Over and over again. And they are, believe it or not, clear indications of the play, of convergent thinking coming together. They're similar, in fact, kind of to these pictures. If you were in that neighborhood, or got a little bit of decoration, not going too far, that's where we were. Perfectly acceptable, nothing wrong with them at all, but they suggest short-range thinking. And I can see from that we needed to expand our vocabulary if we were going to get to grizzly bear attacking love-struck horse zone, if we were going to be able to do that. Now again, if you are just tuning in, I can't explain that. You just have to roll back and watch the footage from before. But think about this. If it never dawned on you that you could introduce a charging grizzly bear into someone else's portrait, or imagine the reaction of other figures if you did that, if you've never had the opportunity to try it and see what happens, or never seen anybody else do it, then you wouldn't have the vocabulary to draw upon. If you've only played the play is all you know. Okay? And by vocabulary, by the way, I mean literally vocabulary. Okay? So an exercise we're going to be doing tomorrow, by the way, is this, which is think of 4 synonyms for the verb to follow. Think of 4 synonyms, okay? Then describe what is different among them, then find a partner and demonstrate each of those versions. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be messing with verbs tomorrow a little bit when we come together. Vocabulary is why I chose the next piece we're going to play, the focus of the next experiment. It's Bob Margolis' Terpsichore, and Margolis peppers the music with adjectives, adverbs, metaphors. These are straight out of the parts, straight out of the score. Some of these aren't even real words. Right? And yes, that is 18 fortes. You won't miss it. See that, Tam Tam? It's coming to a theater near you. Absolutely, it is, in fact, stunning. Vocabulary, that's exercising vocabulary. This is like musical thesaurus, that's hard to say, thesaurus time. We're going to try to embody those adjectives and adverbs as much as we can, and we're going to try to generate more ideas from those initial ones. In a traditional setting, traditional classroom setting, traditional ensemble setting that focuses on the play, okay, information is delivered by the conductor, by the composer, okay? The ensemble is then expected to give it back. Okay? Goes that way and it comes back this way in performance. Their goal is to follow the instructions and match their output to the initial, either composer's or conductor's input. It's a closed loop. Has every bit as much energy as that power strip. Okay? Our new objective is to find ways to enable everybody, the whole ensemble and the audience, the whole flock, to generate their own ideas, not chaotically or randomly, but strategically. So if we're looking at our new metaphor up there, instead of conductor says, this is a light bulb, ensemble says, that is a light bulb, okay, that would be the top left. In the new version, conductor might say, this is one representation of light. Ensemble says back, here are 6 more. And they represent 4 distinct ways of thinking. Choose among them. Which resonates best with you? Perhaps when you were a little kid, you collected fireflies. Great, go with that one. Perhaps you have always wanted a balloon. Great, go with that one. By the way, balloons are light. Diet Coke is light. I told you it would get bad. B. Arthur, Phil Donahue, this is where it goes, but it's true. They're all versions of light. Your own version of light, that's what you bring to the table. That's what they bring to the table. So we have to develop that vocabulary. Okay? To paraphrase Jerome Bruner, he's a pioneering educational and cognitive psychologist. Our goal is to figure out how to use what we know, our accumulated life experiences, to go beyond what we think, thereby opening up new avenues of thought and experience that we can use to travel even further. It's all about grit. Now, let's see if we can play and you can hear that colorful vocabulary in play and test your own. Come up with your own words for the sounds that you're hearing. We're now going to play the 3rd and 4th movements of Bob Margolis's Terpsichore. Let me move this, I'll be right with you. Go for it. Yeah. I can't tell you how proud I am of this ensemble, that this is hard to describe, but that they are ready, willing, and able to argue openly on the stage in front of an audience about certain issues about pulse, certain issues about intonation, and work it out. Okay? This setup, if we have band people, any ensemble people in the room, if you look, there is no rhyme or reason behind this setup. In fact, except for 2 days this semester so far, we've never sat the same way twice. This is brand new. And you think, well, how do you know? How do you navigate? How do the Starlings know? You have to be independent first. So a big part of the semester has been to require that independence. And man, they're doing it. They're zooming all over the place, which is awesome. And they are, in fact, already getting ready for what's going to be our last experiment. Let me get my zapper here. By the way, there will be some flowers. Okay. Did anybody notice the gap of about 2 beats of silence in the middle? Yeah. That's always fun. It's exciting to hear. So, our last experiment is going to involve a little bit of movement, and movement from you as well. One of the most basic games that we've invented in the lab is a version of Duck, Duck, Goose. And by the way, that is a goose. It is not a gray duck. This is Nebraska. Right? Duck, Duck, Goose. Here's how you do it. Can we have a little demo team here for a moment? Would you guys be willing? Just clap, if you would. Pass. Okay, I know this sounds awful, but you understand the context. Pass the clap around the circle. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Here we go. Easy enough, right? Okay, 1 clap per person. Thank you. That was awesome. Flowers for all. Okay, we'll start on this side of the hall. So if you are the rightmost person in your row, you start. And you're going to go all the way down the row to the other side. Okay? Got it? Up here, if you are the rightmost person in your row, okay, working horizontally, you're going to do it. Ensemble, you go ahead and just work around circles. That'll work for you. Okay? And we're just going to clap. Ready? Yeah, nice. That is creative problem solving right there. Awesome. Well done. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, not bad. We get a round of applause to be able to do. Okay. That's not bad. Okay. Now, this next time, okay, you guys were helping, so we're not gonna help them this time. We're just gonna judge them. Okay. This time, I'm betting, because I could see there were some rules in play. Okay. Some of you, weirdly, were looking up here. We can't help you. Okay? Yeah. Maybe look at each other. That might help. Okay? Some of you, for some reason, waited to the last possible minute to clap. Something kind of like this. Ninja clapping. I'm impressed with the speed. Not sure how that might help. I don't know. Maybe you didn't want to disturb the flow that was happening. Okay? There's some of you are like, okay, I'm just going to sit still. Do I count? What do I do? Is it my turn? Does the empty seat count? I don't know. There are no rules. Okay? Let's start from the right side just to mess you up. Okay? You ready? We're going to speed it up as well. All right, if you're on the right side, you are the beginning of the clap. We are passing the clap. Here we go. We'll go about this speed. Ensemble, you let me know how they do, if they deserve some flowers. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. What was funny is there was clapping here and there at the same time. I'm not sure how that worked, but actually not bad, not bad. This particular game, okay, can be expanded. We're not going to do that today. We started with convergence, match the pulse, send it down. And you can progress by adding divergent options. It's the equivalent of yes and in improvisational theater. So yes is matching what the person ahead of you did, and the and part is offering then something new, and then the next person matches that and moves it along. In the advanced rounds, all parameters are lifted ultimately, and it becomes a freely improvised conversation, which is action, reaction, and interaction. And if you're wondering, by the way, this can be done. I don't mean this in a judgy way at all. I swear to you, we love you dearly. This can be done with 6th graders. Okay? This version is either duck, duck, flamingo, or switchboard operator, the ways to be able to do it. All you need is the ability to make a couple of different sounds and an imagination, okay, to make that work out. It's a good one to be able to do. Now, last experiment of the evening. It's going to focus on interaction between and among them, but among them and you. They really need you in this case to see if they're being effective. Their mission in playing Tumbao is to get you to wiggle. Okay? You are welcome to stand up if you would like, okay? If you want to, be in the aisle or something to move, you are welcome. Absolutely. We're hoping you will want to be able to do that. So agility is important. Being able to imagine something is one thing. Being able to deliver it to your teammates in a time frame that they can deal with it is quite another. Doing all of that within a swirling polymetric framework, okay, is just nuts. And that's why we're doing it. We're doing it. That was the first sign I showed them at the beginning of the semester. I said, hey, everybody, our goal for the first concert is that, to achieve swirly confused guy. Have we done it? Are we swirly confused guy? If not, we're about to be, okay? Go ahead, stand up. If you want to move to your different teams, go for it, okay? They're adjusting, largely according to making little teams that embody all of the layers of what you're about to hear. They're going to stand while they play. That's going to help, all right? And I can tell you as they're moving, when we began the semester, imagine that's me on the couch there, I thought there's no way they are going to go for all of this weird stuff that we're doing. I can't even describe what our first concert's going to be like, and they can't either. Okay? To my surprise, utter delight, look at this. Look at this. They're like, yeah, okay, we'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they're still smiling, but yeah, they will. Okay, they'll still be smiling when we're done. Okay. All right, Josh, are you nearby? We'll need you in a moment. If you've anybody seen Toy Story 4? Anybody seen Toy Story 4? Yes, yeah, awesome, thank you. Okay. We are Forky. Okay. Forky is our hero. Forky is the mascot for the lab. If you haven't seen Toy Story 4, too much to explain about Forky, so let me put it this way. Entering into rehearsals without the play to back us up feels like this. Absolute for them, for me, for everybody, okay? All the inspirational metaphors and games in the world do not remove the ring of fire that they feel, that we feel. Tonight, this ensemble has leapt through that ring back and forth, and woo, they're spinning around on top of the ring. It's astonishing what they're doing, and they're about to do it one more time. Glory is still a long way off, but that's okay. And we're talking years off, but boy, do we have the grit. We have accumulated so much, it's awesome. Okay? We're going to be having a lot of gritty fun all along the way, all throughout this year, the rest of the semesters, and we hope you'll continue to join in with us. If you'd like to learn more about any of this, if you're out in Webland and you're watching now, drop me a line. I'm cbarber2@unl.edu. We want to know what you're doing. We want to know how we can help you join in with the experiments. We want to steal from you. We want to accumulate as much grit and as many questions as we possibly can, because we think we're onto something here, and we need your help to be able to find out what it might be. All right? Now, put on your dancing shoes. Josh, come on. Here we go. These are your basic steps, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you don't have to go far, but at least stand up where you are. All right? We have any salsa people? Okay. You're going to go baby steps, and you don't have to. Not a problem if you're not into it. No, that's cool. Okay. You're going to go forward, back, together, pause, back, forward, together, pause, forward, back, together, pause, back, forward. That's it. Hey, here we go. Okay, and we'll speed it up a little bit. We're gonna go da 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 da. That's what we've got. You guys want to stay up here? Awesome. We'll be able to do it. High five. You got it. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You dance, you earn your cookie at the reception that will be in the lower lobby following the ensemble. Okay? You've been awesome tonight. Thank you so much for letting us experiment with you. It's time for turbulence. It's time for dancing. Are you ready? Give me a minute to get over there, and we'll go. This is Roberto Sierra's Tumba.
Twinkle Man. Awesome. Who's that Twinkle Man going? Here we go. Good luck dancing to these first 12 bars. Hey, hey.